Welcome back to the 2026 Scrabble Players Championship run by NASPA Games. Josh Sokol here again with Matt Canik for the 3 remaining games of day 2 of 5. We have an amazing matchup coming your way. 2025 champion Nigel Peltier, 2024 champion and 2025 runner-up Mack Meller. This is a must-watch for everybody. I couldn't be more excited, Matt.
Boy, we've got the last 3 North American champions on our hands today. 2 over the board, and of course 1, Josh Sokol, in the booth with us. This one's going to be awesome. Run back the 2025 finals. We saw Nigel Peltier win that one 3-2. We'll see who wins this one. Standings early on in this one, Josh, are rather tight. No player undefeated, no player at 10-1, only 2 players at 9-2. One of them, the aforementioned Mack Meller, who is just about to win the yearly award for NASPA's Player of the Year. The other one is likely who we'll see in round 13. That is Joey Malik, who made the finals of this event back in 2023. Several players 8-3, just 1 game off the pack, but it's Joey and Mack who lead the pack early on.
Yes, and we did see the first game potential of many between Joey Malik and Mack Meller just earlier today, where Mack did take Joey down. That was his only other defeat, Matt?
I guess so.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, some crazy stars up there in the standings, but so much can change in the next couple of days. So that's why we're watching. That's why we're following the progress. So many different people are in the running still. Things are going to get a little bit more clarified as the days get closer to Wednesday, the final day. So yes, announcements are quite long right now. It's a hazy afternoon in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and all of the awards are being given out. I couldn't claim my award for, what was it, highest spread in the CSW lexicon because I'm up here waiting for this game to start, but hey, congratulations to me. Yeah, but lots of announcements, including, like you said, Player of the Year, which is going to none other than Mack Meller. Well deserved.
Well deserved indeed. It was a close race between Mack Meller and Joey Krafchick, but Mack, to nobody's surprise, coming up on top. I do wonder, Josh, do we know who's going to win the NASPA Person of the Year yet?
Not at all. I've been trying to figure that out. I guess we'll know soon enough, but that is, I think, in my opinion, the most important award given out. Person of the Year has to be someone who's just done so much good for Scrabble. We saw so many names that we know very well win Person of the Year in the previous 10 or so years. Josh Greenway, Will Anderson, the 2 people behind this live stream, Christian and Andrew K, also won Person of the Year. I believe it was last year. Well deserved to them. Lots of really great names. We'll see if we have a repeat winner this year. I was trying to figure out who it might be. And they're informed in advance, like at the, at the Emmys or whatever, at the Grammys, that they're going to win, I think, or somebody's informed. But so it's not Mack Meller, unless Mack was just like pulling my leg. But Mack could have been somebody winning. I'm just trying to think who it might be, but we'll figure it out soon enough. World Cup just went into halftime, we hear. So everybody should be watching this stream.
Yeah, tune in here. Who needs a soccer halftime show when you could have Scrabble banter while we wait for announcements to wind down instead? This is where the action is, right? This is where the hair action is, too.
Yeah, a lot of comments about our hair. Congratulations to us on our hair. There's no award for that, unfortunately.
Just a lot of hair, that's it. This is my trophy right here, baby.
Yeah, 3 games. 3 games today to take us into day 3, 7 games per day, which is really not a terrible schedule. People were like, oh my God, Josh, you're going to commentate 5 days in a row. It's just 7 games a day. Both of us were just in Bangkok, Thailand at the Causeway Challenge, 10 games a day. Okay, that was a little bit more difficult, but just in case I'm losing my voice a little bit, Matt, got a bit of a lozenge. Thanks to Christian and Andrew for letting me steal one of those. You're going to be with me for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's me the rest of the day, and then unfortunately back to my day job. But I'm more than happy to say that Scrabble is in great hands. We're going to have Kenji Matsumoto back in the booth. We're going to have Will Anderson. We're going to have some Morris Greenberg. So I know that Scrabble is in wonderful hands. You guys are going to have some great analysis. And of course, Josh, all 5 days coming from you. That is truly beast mode. Thank you for all you're doing.
So let's cut over to the board. Players are seated and ready. I'm so excited to commentate this one. Nigel Peltier going first I think the first time these guys have met since last year in the finals, where it was a crazy clash. So much content, so much good Scrabble being played. So it's all smiles and tiles for this one.
Wait, it sounds like the person of the year. Oh no, that's the player of the year. Yeah, I don't see person of the year. We'll try to get that updated when we can. But Scrabble underway. Nigel shaking the bag. Let's do it.
I think Mack's the one shaking the bag, but Nigel will be going first and drawing. He's in. Okay, I was gonna say pretty much all black, but he's got his black hat on just to try and obscure potential facial tells, or just to look cool as he does. Mack Meller with his nice plaid shirt. He's always wearing something like that. He's dressed pretty well himself. We're going to play some Frisbee. Nigel Peltier, an incredible ultimate Frisbee player, but because of the haze, that might not happen later. So Scrabble it is. NAE blank R to start things off for Nigel. Wow. I have not seen a better rack this tournament. Wow.
Yeah, can't have drawn it up much better than that. AENRSU blank. Just kind of find a bingo and play it, right, Josh?
Look at this. He's just saying this is unreal. Lining that up on the rack. Wow. Yeah, just find something. Ideally, you find something that doubles one of the letters you already have, just to give Mac one less letter to play through. But I'm not actually seeing that option. You also want to try and limit counterplay by not exposing vowels next to those light blue double letter scores. A lot of things you want to do, but you also just don't want to take too long on a turn like this.
If I can find a way to put the U in a double lane and then not give up any crucial hooks and also not expose a vowel next to a double letter, I'll probably just pick that one here. What does the job?
Yeah, I'm going to read all the bingos out. Unbears, Suncare, Asunder, Danseur, Furains, Unsafer, Manures, Surname, Aranus, Nature's Saunter, Unswear, Sinurai. Out of those, Unsafer might be the safest, ironically.
Unsafer, or maybe Suncare, put the U in the double line, put the S on the double letter square. That seems to do a lot of the right things.
Are we going to see you know, it'd be really cool if you see a centered move, just missing the double letter scores entirely. It's such a weird offbeat thing. It's sort of like an underhand serve in tennis. But if you don't extend all the way up, sometimes that could be an interesting idea. But we're seeing Sinurai, which again, you don't have a hook there. You can't hook. This is already plural. It's very defensive. It's hard to fit words to the left of that. So this is a very good option. And after 2 minutes and 15 seconds, that is Nigel Peltier's decision. 64 points on the scoreboard for him. And Mack Meller now with AADEINN. Just one letter off, isn't he?
One letter off from a whole lot of things, but there won't be a playable bingo to Mac on this turn, and that means we've got another tough turn. All 1 and 2 pointers. Not even a strong bingo prone leave you can keep. Probably ADEN or ADEIN is about all you can keep. So we'll see how long Mac chooses to play here. I could see a case to be made for NA or ANA above the NUR of Senure. I could see a case to be made for playing longer here. Just play adenine, get rid of all of this, and try again. Josh, is this a turn you think we're going to see Max slow down on?
Yeah. There's nothing clear here at all in the position. I guess the play of AIN on top of the YNU makes sense. Obscuring the S, which is the best tile for Mac to play an 8-letter word, but not giving much back, keeping the balance. I hate everything. This is a really tough turn. These are post bingo turns, when your opponent opens with a bingo and you don't have anything clear, anything high scoring, some of the most difficult decisions in Scrabble, and everything is really close. So Adenine makes sense. AIN makes sense. Just AN makes sense. Maybe you want to think to play perpendicular rather than parallel, so that you leave more letters open for 8-letter words. There's a lot to think about, a lot of theory here, a lot of strategy. Not that much time. So we'll see what Mack ends up doing. He's got AIN lined up.
AIN looks good. It doesn't give back as many points as some of the other candidate options here, but as you said, Josh, it obstructs the S. And I think that's the one reason Mack hasn't committed to this play yet. The S is going to give you bingos very, very often. But if you play ANA instead over the NUR of Signore, you're allowing Nigel to come back with VAR or WAR or even potentially JAR. You don't want to give up that spot if you can avoid it. So Mack has to make some kind of sacrifice here on the scoreboard in terms of what he's obstructing. AIN looks strong.
That's what he's going with. Pretty impressed after 2.5 minutes. I might have sat there for another minute or so, but Mack knows time is of the essence in Scrabble, and this is about as good as anything. So AIN for 12, and over to Nigel, who has drawn 2 Gs, 2 Is, a V, D, and an E. And this seems like somewhat obvious to play a V, an I, and a G somewhere. Veggie, Vigia are both plays that play to the A and the E, respectively, on the right side of the board. Veggie without 2 Gs looks like a much worse version. I think you get rid of the G here, Matt.
Yeah, I think you're playing VEGGIE into the E. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't come down yet. Nigel looking at the 5-letter version of this word, but there's just not a good reason to keep a G on your rack while sacrificing 4 points to do so. Play veggie, play long. This is going to create a nice closed board for Nigel, and if Mack's not able to get a bingo down next turn, big advantage Nigel. Now we see Mack does have dead in and a blank, and he's basically locked to bingo, but a great idea here for Nigel. He hasn't committed it yet, though. He's looking at Vig, probably thinking about Vigia again. I think this is a straightforward veggie play, though.
This is so amazing. I mean, Mack is looking at deadening to the IN, playing a 9-letter word. But veggie, if you play veggie, maybe you play it the other way. Maybe you play it down from the E so that you don't give back the G lane. If you play veggie to the E, you're setting up an ING spot, and Max just played an I and an N for a very low score. The chances that he has another I and another N are much higher than usual. So this is something to consider. Nigel now looking at Vigia. He was looking at playing Viga as well. You could play something like Giving as well through the IN. Maybe he wants to keep the G for ING himself, but that's not happening. Viga is the ultimate decision. I guess the most balanced play. 2 vowels, 2 consonants, leaving some points on the table, and deadening coming down immediately. Nigel already reacting like, oh yeah, this is who I'm playing. Mack Meller. He plays more 9s than anybody else in the room.
Yeah, Nigel doesn't even have his tiles out of the bag before the 9 committed by Mack Meller there with a blank in it. So Mack's lead now 98-80, just 2 moves apiece into this game. Nigel does have a nice draw here, AEL into his EDIG. No bingos available to him, but a nice balanced rack, and we might get it, chat. I think Nigel's top play might just be egg.
Maybe so. Egg making AYE. I was like, where is that? Making AYE and NUG through both of the blanks. That's a really hard play to see. Wow. But yeah, crazy stuff. Wow. Mack drawing a D and E and a blank to DANE, playing a 9-letter word, taking an 18-point lead. And although Nigel balanced his rack, like you said, it's a balanced rack with nothing to do. We like balanced racks, but we like scoring points. And it's going to be kind of hard to score points here. A Delgid to the D, excuse me. The second D in deadening is a way to play a bit longer, keep just a lone E, but just E, G, G. To tie the game up through the blank G of deadening might be the play, like you said.
But yeah, the double blank blindness in there. You have to notice this play and decide it's best. I'm not sure Nigel's noticed it yet, and I'm also not 100% sure it's best. There is a nice board closing play of EDGE
Hmm.
alongside the DEAN of deadening. Closes a lot when you're trailed by a smidge, but it takes away a ton of options for Mac. How do you feel about that play, Josh?
I think it's a great play. Just overlapping, blocking the board. You're playing with one of the best wordsmiths the game has ever known. You are setting them up for a second 9-letter word by overlapping and making 2-letter words, but it's a nice way to score, not commit yourself too hard to playing a bingo soon. I like it. Edge on the right side of the DEAD of deadening.
Oh,
He's
he's
found
found
egg.
it now. Egg. Setting it up off to the side. I like this for Nigel. Yeah, Edge. Engine's got three different plays that all do very different things. Egg is one of them. Edge, as we called out, is one. And then just blow it up. Play Adelgid, Adelgid, into the D for 20 points. Three very different lines of attack here. But Egg, try to bingo through one of those floaters and then shut the board down. Feels like a really good plan to me, Josh.
Yep, he's considering it. Nigel already down to 18 minutes on his third move, so taking a little bit longer than ideal for him. This is a tough position. You're just so close to something. It's just not very pleasant to keep ADEIL on this board where can you bingo? Through an A, through an E, or through a D? Those are letters you already have on your rack. And egg blocks the S of Signori, the R of Signori. Those are your two best lanes for the leave of ADEIL. So I wonder if he's going to get off of this, play a delegate or edge, the other two plays that both of us have found and considered in the position. Whereas Mac just has to wait and see how the board changes. This is a situation where there's not much to find for him. You can find some long plays, some short plays that play right now. But after Nigel's next move, things might change. We'll see. GE off to the side again. Is he going to play it?
Yeah, he already took off the hat and scratched his head a little bit. This is definitely a head scratcher of a turn. If you don't draw the bingo after egg, you feel pretty tough about that sacrifice. You're setting up two S lines and when you don't hold an S, but you do bingo a lot. Engine likes this play. Nigel Peltier likes this play. Chat, can we hear it for Nigel's play of egg?
Yeah, Mac like shaking his head a little bit. This is such a weird play. The blanks are side by side diagonally, and actually the G in deadening is sideways, isn't it?
That was blank alert.
Mac's just like, whoa, that's a really cool find. This is so hard to see this word, Matt.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really, really good find, if anything else. MW, the redraw for Nigel Peltier, down 3 points. And Mac looking at playing oof. After the play of egg, he's probably thinking Nigel has an S, but even if he doesn't have a 7-letter word and just has an 8-letter word through the D or the A, oof would block it. Even words with the E in early position would be blocked with oof to the left of DEA. So I think this is a great play.
Yeah, no, it does a lot of really nice things. And Mac's going to put it down. 24 more points for him, builds his lead up to 27. Nigel draws an M and a W into his leave of ideal. While I wouldn't call that the ideal draw, given the shape of the board now, that's actually not bad at all. The newly added Fam gives Nigel Maw for 30 points. That seems like an insta play to me, Josh.
Yeah, you just have to double check you're not missing something. You have the word mildew on your rack. You have some letters to play through, the OD, the FA. Maybe you can have a 7-letter word starting with FA with this rack, close to like family. But yeah, MAW. Nigel is saying, oh, is this a spelling of meow? Meowed. A little bit of comedy there. But yeah, you have to see the M hook on FA. Fam is a newly added word. Both of these players have been playing far longer than Fam has ever been valid. So it's a little bit of a check to see if Nigel is going to spot this overlap, which I believe he will eventually.
And Nigel has played in a number of tournaments since winning the Nationals last year, so I expect this is not something that's going to trip him up. Yeah, there he goes, setting up Maw off to the side. He's won 3 different one-day tournaments out in the Pacific Northwest since winning nationals last year. Definitely no rust for Nigel.
Yeah. So Maw, I think, is what Nigel's going to play. I guess the only consideration is maybe Mew in a closed board position. Sometimes the A outmaneuvers the E in terms of plays that you can make. So maybe you play Mew instead of Maw. That would be the only consideration. Makes it a little bit harder to re-overlap, but you also get rid of your E to rehook onto Fem to make Fame. So I think this is totally fine. Mack on his end has drawn 3 consonants, the V, the P, and the R. And I think this might be a situation where you play just even, Fame and Dan. Even if you don't like opening the triple on the top. You'd rather play a 3-letter word to re-overlap, Matt, but I think it's totally fine.
And the question really is just, do you play even for 28 or do you play Veep in the same spot for 26? Even holds EPR, Veep holds ENR. I think I'm keeping the P here. There's not a lot of bingo lines on the board. ENR and EPR feel roughly equivalent anyway, and I can get 2 more points to keep the P. And I don't want to get caught in 1-point jail on a tight board like this. So a lot of reasons pointing towards even. That is likely Mack's strongest play here.
Yeah, I think it's probably not even close. No pun intended. Keep the P in a closed position, score a little bit more, make it much less valuable most of the time to reach that triple on the top right with a 6-letter word. I think this is certainly the play for Mack Meller. And Nigel Peltier is about to bingo. Out of his leave of DEIL, he has drawn LSP. That makes a word we all know. And you can hook your S onto Nug for Nugs. And there it goes, spilled.
So a big draw now for Mack. He's going to get a D in a triple line. Can he connect on a big play, potentially even a bingo? The A is going to help him quite a bit. The U and the K going to hold him back. So Nigel, I don't expect Mack to bingo back. Yeah, another R in there as well. Spilled is the only bingo Nigel plays. It only has the 1 spot with Nugs. I wonder how much more time Nigel spends before we see Spilled for 73.
Wow, I'm very surprised by the fact that parkoured isn't a word. But yeah, Nigel's about to play Spilled. He was thinking about ellipsed for a second. That's not a word. Ellipse is a noun. So he's going ahead and playing Spilled now. And Mack again at a deficit here, 50 points. He's got an open triple, and you pretty much have to use it here.
I actually don't know that you have to use it. You do have a strong play at the top of the board using a different triple in Eureka for 33.
Yeah, that's the triple I meant.
Okay, got it.
Eureka! Yeah, very nice. Mack already has it lined up. Definitely worth playing over using that triple. The D is just open, but it can't feel great, of course. You're going to be at a deficit. You're giving Nigel a free triple, but I think he's going to go with it.
I think Mack's going to take away the D. There's just so much damage Nigel can do in that spot. Playing puked, playing parked, something like that. Yeah, if Nigel does happen to have a 6 from the E, okay, but the D is easily the prime spot on this board. And even though Mack trails, I think he needs to take it away to avoid giving Nigel easy points.
Maybe, but I feel like if you're going to play using the D, you should play darker, going down just to open the bottom of the board at a deficit and keep the P again. It's not a huge sacrifice on the leave side of things. But yeah, it's actually very interesting. We'll see what Matt comes up with. Nigel's drawn 2 O's, 2 T's, HMI. That's pretty balanced as far as redraws go. So he's going to have a decent way to score pretty much regardless. If we see parked or puked, something like tomb underneath the ILLE is possible, I guess. And if we see darker, some sort of potential overlap could happen.
Probably OOH after darker, if I had to guess. But yeah, I agree, Josh. Even though darker is simming a few points beneath puked or parked, long-term board dynamics on a board that is this tight feel very important for Mack. Those 2 unseen S's are huge to play AYES and get out to the left side of the board. Mack's going to have a very difficult time winning this game without drawing one of those, but I agree. Play darker, get down into space, make a small sacrifice this turn to set yourself up for more success every turn for the rest of the game.
Yeah, if you play parked, you could get totally smashed by a Z. You could get smashed by a 5-letter word. But the leave certainly is a bit better. I'm not sure. Yeah, engines are preferring this play over darker, I guess, and Eureka as well.
Eureka's getting tanked in the simulation, 7 points beneath the top option, which is puked into the D. Parked and darker are right next to one another, both about 3 points down on puked. So engine says get rid of this Q or the U rather at all costs.
Yeah, the U is really bad to keep. The two R's kind of suck to keep, but actually, if you think about it, lots of words start with E and contain two R's. So Mac could pretty easily redraw into something starting with that E and even at the top of the board, which again is not easy to hit. 6-letter words starting with a vowel, few and far in between. So I think that's probably the reason the numbers are favoring this play of puked keeping two R's.
All right, Mac committing to the play of parked, it looks like here. Not going to open the board, is going to expose himself up to some risk for the Z play. I expect he's going to go back and talk about this win/if he does a breakdown of his games at this tournament. Definitely some kind of rationale for this play. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, maybe there's some. Is there a 4-tile extension for parked you might be thinking of? He certainly has a great reason for every single play that he makes. And
There's
Nigel Peltier.
one 4-letter extension, and it is still in the bag as a natural right now. No blanks unseen, but he has drawn one of the letters he needs to play a 10 here.
It's already been mentioned in the chat. Yeah, now if you're Nigel Peltier, you're just going to play Moho, right? I don't think there's any reason to leave the M off, for example, or to try desperately to play one of those two T's and play something like Tom. I think Moho is the play here.
Yeah, you don't want to keep double T's with 4 more in the bag, but Moho scores 36 points and blocks all the big threats. Parked could maybe be a Z setup. So, yeah. No, I'm not playing with fire here. I'm taking a bunch of points. And if I draw 3 T's next turn, well, the board sucks. I don't mind exchanging.
So here comes Moho with a 50 or so point lead. You can afford to potentially exchange next turn. It's going to be really important to see who draws those 2 remaining S's because that AYE play, AYE takes an S. An I is a vote in favor of something. And it's going to be very important to draw one of those to at least threaten a bingo for either of these guys. For Nigel, maybe it's a bit more important to try and brace for that sort of scenario since he has the lead. And there's a 3rd T for him and a J, an L, and a B. That is a really bad draw. Whereas Mac has 2 U's now.
Both players on terrible tiles, and Mac has some choices to make. 2 plays seem to jump out above the other options here. One of them is blurt through the L in spilled. 20 points, but Josh, the leave is IUW. I hate opening the board with IUW. Another play here is sneaky to find, but Max surely has generated it. Through the S in Senuri, it's worst. WURST. The problem with that play is it knocks out the AYES hook. Is that a play Max should consider here?
Wow, worst. I mean, it was hard enough to find egg through the blank. And look at that play finding. Worst making rain and TEGG. I do not know if I would have spotted that play, but you're right. It does have a problem. You're eliminating the only good S bingo spot on the board. But how important is that when you need to keep scoring and a play through the L of spilled, such as blurt right now, is going to eventually happen and potentially open the bottom of the board? That's what Mac is considering right now. He's fallen under the 15-minute mark. So do you play blurt and keep some of the most ugly tiles ever? Do you play worst, keep a little bit better, and just try and play the long game? We'll see what he does.
I don't think it's the worst idea in the world to exchange here, but with both blanks already having come out, I don't know that you want to do that either. Everything sucks for Mac. Worst might be the least bad. Pun sort of intended.
Yeah, nice job there with the double pun. Wow, I can learn from you. Yeah, exchanging is interesting. I feel like maybe you just fall too far behind. If you think about, of course, I said the importance of the S hook on AYE. If you think about how much Bingo would score there, it would also open a triple. Bingos would score in the 60s most likely. Right now, Max down almost 50. If he exchanges and maybe draws a bingo immediately with AYES, at best he's tying the game with it and opening a big spot for Nigel. So I feel like you have to just play through this and just hope for a good draw coming up. But it's a really, really tough position. I know Mac is not happy with the options that he spotted.
No, just worst. I think it has to be the play. Mac is just trying to find anything else at all, but those options don't really exist on this turn.
In 2014, they added a couple of extensions to the word worst. They added beer worst, BIER, and jagged worst, JAGDWURST, if my memory serves me right. None of those will be possible, but those are words Max certainly knows. Ballpark does
Yagd
not
worst?
block. Yeah, Jagd.
JAGD worst. That's sick.
Did I pronounce the J wrong? Oops.
You said jagged worst.
My bad. Sorry, German people.
Yes, a cured German sausage.
Yeah,
Sick.
Jagdwurst
Do they
is
have
probably how
curry?
you pronounce it. I've played Bierwurst, Bierwurst. It's really so hard to pronounce some of these words. We do our best, chat. But I've played that one. I was actually in 2014, right as they added those, I learned them, and I ended up playing from a BI, fishing for it. I ended up playing it, and it was challenged off the board. Why, you ask? Well, the dictionary had not yet been updated on the Internet Scrabble Club. Sad trombone for Josh Sokol.
Trombone indeed. Wow. I'm learning another fun one. Wienerwurst. Wienerwurst.
It's okay. Now I don't feel so bad about my pronunciation. Oh, sorry. Is Nigel Peltier going to play jib through the eye of Viga for 28, depending on what Mac
Absolutely he
does?
is. Absolutely he is. Just scored 28 on a dead board and let your rack deal with itself later. Mac throwing back all 7. He just says, nah, this sucks. I'm not having fun. Try again.
He doesn't want a T. Lots of T's left from his perspective. All 6 T's, actually. He doesn't really want an I. It's not a great tile to keep. Doesn't want the U. This makes sense. Trying to draw one of those S's and maybe just build towards a bingo. That would maybe tie the game. It's a really tough position, but it's a good practical decision. So let's see if Nigel decides to play jib for 28, keeping ILTTT. Let's see what Mac draws out of the bag after his exchange 7. SITEXNY. Very good. Very good post exchange draw,
He just draws 69.
basically.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a bunch of players that, like, when you bingo after exchanging, what do they say? They say nice exchange or something like that. It always feels kind of like a personal attack to me. It's like,
Yeah, and then I do personally attack them with my fist if I get one of those passive aggressive nice exchanges.
whoa.
Oh, sorry.
So jib does come down. I mean, what do you do? What else do you do? It's the only way to score. You can't overlap you can't overlap the M of Moho. You only have an I. The board is so closed. There's not much risk associated to this play. Let's see what Nigel gets. Did he shake the bag enough? BW, he did not.
No, he did not.
Oh boy. Gotta remember to shake the bag after an opponent's exchange.
All right. Now, Mac has found what looks like a slam dunk best play, Lynx. The only problem is which L do you play it from? There's 2 right next to each other, both for 28. You have any reason to pick one over the other?
Yes. I think I would play the one on the right. Oh, actually, wait. This is this is really weird. Okay, both of them have a problem when you overlap the X. So the one on the left puts the X one spot to the left of a double word score. And so play like OI and XI is a really easy way to score points and not open anything. But if you play to the right, plays like that exist as well. Maybe even higher scoring plays going all the way down to that bottom right double letter score, scoring super well. I think that's all Mac is thinking about, but he's down under 10 minutes. This has been a very difficult game for him. And I think, yeah, he has to choose one of them. I wonder what the engine thinks.
I'm going to crunch those numbers now through the engine. I was just trying to think what I would do. And you have to consider OI or AE, those kinds of plays, very unlikely after Nigel has played jib for 28. Mac opting for right placement here. Engine kind of wants Mac to play PYX for 15. That one now starting to sink.
No,
They're all neck and neck, both lynxes and picks for 15, but that last one seems crazy to me.
no, you can't score 15 here. Engine is wrong. You heard it here
Oh,
first. Mac draws IIE though, so maybe the engine has some logic. Don't want to draw too many vowels with a very vowel heavy pool. Oh boy, that's an awful draw.
holy
But I
crap.
think
Yeah.
Nigel Peltier, tilt by the way, he's really putting on a show this time. What a guy. Think you exchange here?
He's looking at Stilt down from the S and Senuri. Block up bingos through that in Lynx, continue to play defense. We've seen a lot of defense from Nigel Peltier in his earlier game on stream. Stilt for 11. BTW is not a leave you right home about, but it does what you need to do in this game state. The BW can continue to pound out points, can be used to block the board when Mac opens it. Stilt makes sense to me, Josh.
Yeah, there's also something to be said about a play like Bits, BITTS, to that S in Sinurai. What you really want to do in a position like this where you can't block everything at once, one of the good things to do is try and steer the ship. So if Max to bingo in this position, where do I want him to bingo? If he bingos with AYES, I get a triple. I get an open board. I get first dibs at a big spot. I'm not a huge non-fan of that sort of bingo for Mac. If I can avoid it, great, but still sets up a higher scoring bingo spot potentially through the T or hooking an S onto stilts, which wouldn't necessarily open as much for Nigel. So this might be an instance where he wants to play a little bit more, I guess, on the sideline defense, just sort of board control rather than trying to block as much as possible. There's a suggestion of twixt through the X that deals with a lot of problems, but it also opens a really easy line to end in a vowel, and that would hit a double word score. So where is Mac going to bingo if he does bingo is the question that Nigel wants to ask himself. And do I want to stop something? Do I want to just lead him in the direction I want him to go in? See what he ends up doing.
Yeah, this is a really hard turn. Twixt is a really good equity play. It knocks out bingos through the in and links, and it would require a bingo ending in a vowel for Mac to play on this board. The problem, though, is looking at the unseen pool 20 vowels, 20 consonants. There's a good chance that bingo ends in a vowel with this distribution. So I would be looking to go elsewhere. I wouldn't be playing Twixt here. Nigel's going to play Twin.
Yeah, this is a similar idea. He hasn't committed the play. He's now spotted Twixt, maybe, or yes. It's a similar idea. The lane it creates isn't as bad as the one this one creates, but maybe you just have to go and say, all right, I don't really have control here. My tiles are too bad. If you bingo there, it's going to be a tie game. If you don't, hopefully I'll be able to do something next turn about the spot I've just opened. I think this is a decent decision. It's just that with the knowledge that Max exchanged 7 and then played links, maybe his rack's a little bit too good to do something like this, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, no, this was the engine's preferred play by 3 points. Like instinctively, it doesn't make the most sense for me, but you also can't be super scared if you're Nigel. Sure, if he's got the bingo, he's got the bingo, and otherwise, I don't know. This is the right way to score some points to work out of ugly racks.
Speaking of ugly racks, that's a crazy draw for Nigel Peltier, but it's actually probably pretty good for him. to draw that H for HM, and the U for UM. But wow, what a weird one. Chubb is going to fit for over 30 with overlaps, and Mack might have to exchange again. This is looking really, really good for Nigel all of a sudden.
Yeah, if Mac doesn't exchange here, it's playing TIE from either of the T's in Twixt, and that's just ridiculously, insanely too aggro, Josh.
Yeah, I think you just do it again. Keep SITE. It really doesn't feel good, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That doesn't hold true in Scrabble. You could try again. Keep SITE. Hopefully don't draw IIE again and make it a game eventually. So I think Nigel's just going to go ahead and play Chubb. He can't do anything about the lane that Twixt has open, the AYES spot, and he's up enough now, 60 points, where if he keeps scoring, he'll probably be fine. Keeping that Z, such a powerful weapon for him long term.
So now the question for Nigel is, what do I play? Chubb plays alongside Moho, making and bop. 33 points, looks really good. Is there any reason, though, that we want to try to play a different letter off instead? BUHL in the same spot as a 3-point sacrifice, but keep CZ together. I think this just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it's still a situation where you maybe don't want to keep a T, but you've already played 2 of them. I think this is totally fine. You can draw CUZ, COZ later on, and maybe set up Azo for yourself. If Mack's going to continue to try and bingo, you can just set up scoring spots for yourself and try to outrun him. And apparently, if Mack had exchanged his 3rd eye last turn, he might have been in a better position here. Apparently, the engine was saying that maybe he should have gotten rid of all of his eyes instead, with a lot to come, a lot of vowels left. What do you do now? Do you play Fey to the Y in links and just score points? Because now you're down almost 100.
You could do that. FAY is 30 points. EIIST is strong enough, but IF, same idea, same spot beneath the PI of Spilled, is 24 and keeps a more stable leave. Now, there's no PIST, but PINT could be a threat for me down the road. Mac's going to take the equity here.
Interesting. Now he doesn't have any good bingo spots anymore. This is looking really difficult regardless. Nigel has seen 1 vowel on his 4-tile pull, which will be good enough to continue to make plays. But what plays? What such plays does he have? Is it a play to the S in Signori now? Is it just a small play somewhere? Can you try and block something? It's a really, really weird and awkward position now.
Yeah, what do you do here? I don't know that he has a valid play that uses the Z at all.
That could very well be. I'm not seeing it. Like I said last move, you can draw into COZ, CUZ. 4 O's remain, 2 U's remain. But it has to feel a little bit weird to be potentially stuck. Do you play? I guess you play Lodged through the ODE here.
Yeah, Lodged is not crazy. I just don't. I don't know.
It's the only way to get rid of a lot of junk and keep your vowel and not open anything. I like it.
You can also play GELTS and TAIN, holds DLZ, scores 12, but that does allow Mac to open this board up in kind of annoying ways. So I actually do think if you see Lodged up at the top, just 9 points, but don't give anything to Mac. Like you said, keep control of the board. Right now, Mac either has to bingo with AYES or underneath the T in Twixt. Either way, I'm poised to pounce with my Z. So just keep myself in range. Don't give Mac anything new. Score as best as I can. Yeah, Lodged feels fine.
Yeah, I think if you play Gelts, you're just letting Mac reopen the top left of the board, allowing him to overlap or even play to the E of Gelts just to open more space up. So if Nigel spots this, I think he'll play it. But it does feel kind of weird. And 5 minutes left for Nigel Peltier, 7 for Mac, Lots of game left to play. So many short plays have been made in the last few moves. Somebody might go overtime in this game.
Yeah, we'll see. There was a game last year at the national championship where Nigel, faced with a similarly constricted board, went many, many minutes overtime and ended up just six passing with his opponent. Nigel only scored 179 points in that game. Of course, he did still win the national championship that year, but I wonder if we'll see time constriction complications and do some mistakes. This is DELLS, keeping the ZG combo together.
Yeah, this seems like a little bit worse than GELTS. But the same idea, similar idea. Guess you draw into stuff like gaze and gauze to the E with this. Nigel's seen some vowels. He's going to be able to score pretty well next turn now. If you're Mack Meller, do you play AT and TUM? I guess after Dells now you just play Quail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to play Quail for 34. QU could be a very dangerous combination to potentially score very, very well in that lane with AYES, something like Equites or Equites, however you pronounce that word, would score around 90 rather than the average of 65 or so in that spot. But I think taking 34 now and just getting closer to Nigel's score makes the most sense. Mac told me that he went 3 minutes overtime in a game, I think a couple rounds ago against David Pearl, but still managed to win it. We might see a situation where going overtime is going to be forced upon one of the two players just to make sure they're not missing something or they're blocking the correct plays in the end game. If you're Nigel Peltier, you might be able to afford that. If you're Mac, I'm not sure. So Quail looks like it makes more sense than anything else. What is the holdup, though?
Not sure. He's really looking to try to open the bottom of this board with a play like Quate or Quite instead. Those just get punished very hard, very often. Actually, looking at the unseen pool, does Quite get hit very much at the bottom?
I don't know. I mean, there are 3 eyes unseen, so being able to I really hate playing under there. But it will set up PISTE, so that's very interesting. QUATE, QUITE under the T of Twixt sets up PISTE. Maybe that's what he's thinking about? This is so weird. Under 5 minutes now for Mack Meller. Quail 33, Quail is 34. Quite and Quate are 40. But Quail is what Mac does.
Yeah, just get some tiles out in space. Keep EST together, drawing into a pool with a lot of vowels. This play feels very good for a lot of your standard reasons. This is going to bring Mac within 47 points. Nigel has the high-scoring Gyoza plus an RT on his rack. New space exposed on the board means Nigel can play Gyoza into the A of Quail. It looks like a strong early option for me here, but I think we'll see Nigel slow down at least a bit and look at some other options.
But can you slow down here? You're down to under 4 minutes. I feel like this is such a nice hole-in-one play. With 15 tiles still in the bag, you're going to get another chance, most likely, to not empty the bag next turn and just try to consolidate. So I think you just play Gyoza pretty quickly. What else is there to consider, though?
There's the play of Gray Out through the U in Quail. That sets up Zig or Zag at the top. If you draw one of those 5 unseen A's or I's, it does allow Mac to bingo from the Q sometimes, but should Mac bingo from the Q, you might still win the game. You score enough now, plus setting up Zig for 39 next turn. There are other plays here that actually make a lot of sense. Nigel is looking at that play of Gray Out right now.
Yeah, maybe the timing really works out for this play, leaving 9 tiles in the bag. Okay, if Mac bingos, then there'll be 2 tiles in the bag, and it'll be a close one. Nigel having a certain advantage with the highest scoring tile left in the game. Look at the unseen letters. Still a lot of vowels and only a C to score with. So I think Nigel can be pretty confident that Mac's bingos are not going to score much at all here. Gray Out might be a fantastic play.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like super much about Gyoza is the ART leave with two A's, three R's, and three T's to go. I don't want to get stuck with something like Tartar on my rack with no spot to play Tartar or anything like that. That seems like it could be a recipe for disaster. So maybe play a little bit longer, play gray out, keep the Z, the only tile that scores in the game. That makes sense, but a lot makes sense here. Gyoza for 36 seems so straightforward. Goaty, Goaty, through the A and Quail makes some sense here as well. Playing Gauzy, Gauzy, through the U and Quail is a good blocking play. A lot for Nigel to think about, and he's under 2 minutes now. He needs to pick something and
Yeah,
commit
that's
to
why
it.
I wish he just hadn't thought about this, because the more you think about it, the more interesting the position gets. You just don't have time. Gray out, I guess the only issue I have with it is if Mac has both S's, he hooks an S onto gray outs, scores 30 points, opens the board, opens a couple lanes for himself. Man, this is extremely complicated. I don't think the engine understands what's going on. I don't think Nigel and Mac really understand what's going on here. I don't think I understand what's going on. Maybe I'm just projecting that.
Yeah,
Oof, you have to
we're
make a
doing our
play.
best here, but I don't think anything can fully solve out this position. Mac is definitely going to talk about this one after the game, but Nigel, with 69 seconds left, is just going to throw Gyoza down. I'm not sure I've optimized this, but I have to do something so I can try to optimize the rest of this game. Nigel in time trouble, 60 seconds on his clock now as he plays Gyoza.
He could just draw the winning play right now. If it plays under the T of Twix, there's still an S out, but if he doesn't, he'll be probably saddled with not a lot to score with. Right now, there are 11 tiles in the bag. Mac has drawn into a bingo, but can he really afford to play it? I think you might have to just go for it.
Oh, just, this gives back Terraria for Nigel, triple, triple, and game over. Whether Mac picks Rotters or
Oh,
retorts, if Mac bingo's here, and here it comes.
oh my
60 seconds,
God.
got 131. What a swing. What a draw for Nigel.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Terraria through the R. I think Mac probably had to bingo here and hope for a bingo
Coming down
again, but
instantly.
wow.
Watch Mac here. Oh,
Shaking
shaking
his
his head.
head.
I can't beat this guy. I just can't beat this guy.
I don't believe what I've just seen. That is just a cold shower and a half.
Wow. All right. So Mack Meller is beatable in Cedar Rapids, it seems. This is going to knock him down to 9-3. The triple triple spotted Nigel Peltier in time trouble, doesn't care. 131. GG. Mack's going to draw 6 vowels out of the bag.
He
And
could
this
have
guy,
drawn an out bingo and gotten over 400, but
yeah.
no. Oh my gosh. All
Wow.
right, end game time. You have 3 minutes. Can you solve it, Mac? Are you even thinking about this game right now, or are you just thinking about what just happened to you? Oh boy, that is insane.
Yeah, and Nigel drawing outs in multiple places means Max just got to grab his highest score here. Tonic or Antic for Nigel.
Or tinked. Yeah, there's just too many spots. You can't block all of them. You just got to take your highest score.
I said drawing into A or keeping ART could be trouble. Nigel says trouble. How about 131?
Wow. Yeah, this was a great game. I think voices might be Mac's best play now through the
Yes.
disconnected VC on the top of the board. But this is a really, really interesting game that I'm sure Mac's going to love to talk about. Obviously, it was completely moot after retorts, but before that, it was rich, it was complicated, it was really, really beautiful.
Nigel's going to go straight to the play of Gyoza and ask about it, if I had to guess. And I'm curious to hear what Mac says as he looks through that position. I think we're going to have a fun post mortem in this one.
I hope so. I mean, Mac is so stoic, especially at this part of the tournament, but it's really hard to deal with blows like Terraria after you spent 23 minutes just scratching your head over and over again. This is the deep and dark forest that we've seen Nigel lead people into so many times. His plays aren't always uh, optimal per se or precise calculations, but he really knows how to work the board. He really knows how to induce mistakes than his opponents. And he's such a strong player, such a strong champion. It's great to see him back. He hadn't signed up for this tournament until around a month ago. So people were wondering what was going on with that. But here he is to defend his title against none other than Mack Meller, who he beat last year in a best of 5 scintillating match. So voices coming down for 22. The voices in Mack's head, like you said, I can't beat this guy. What the heck? And
Yeah,
Tink's going to come
voices.
down for 14, and that'll be it.
Oh boy, yeah, voices is the best in-game Max got here, and Nigel's just gonna play something and go out in this one. Yeah, the voices in Max's head saying, "I just can't freaking beat this guy. I got my bingo down, and that's what happens next. Come on, man." Here comes Antic. Let's cut to Mike.
$509 to $361.
Yeah.
Good game. What can I do? I will like twice as many vowels and consonants in the pool, so I was hoping you had. I figured since you took a while on this, you probably didn't have a great leave. But
It was actually the opposite. This left me
Oh.
the best possible. I left rat, art,
oh wow,
and I had other options like oi.
oh saving the Z. Oh, I see, saving the Z. Okay.
Or I really liked gray out, which sort
Huh.
of kind of goes for a little Z thing,
Yeah.
thinking it was like maybe that would help me outrun a bingo. And I
Right.
liked saving the Z for outrunning a bingo.
Leaving one in the bag, which might be better too for timing potentially.
Was there only 7 in the bag?
Well, there were 3 in the bag after I bingoed. Yeah, there were
I
10
see.
when I.
Well, okay. That was okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got, but it felt wrong because leaving bingo tiles when you're ahead,
Right.
it feels like that's like how you lose.
Sure.
That's how you lose games, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if the pool is foul heavy, like you want to keep. Yeah, I mean, as long as I don't bingo twice, because there's no scoring tiles left after that, right? So like, as long as I don't bingo twice, you're probably fine.
Yeah, especially because the lanes
bingos,
are
exactly.
not the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost when I played this, I had EST, which is a really good leave. I almost played Quite, because actually sets up another sneaky S hook here or S insertion, but I figured it's just. I mean, I knew you had another E when you. Well, I thought you had another E when you played this. I guess you didn't.
Had a lot of consonants for a while.
Yeah.
That was just turnover. I left a
Okay.
Z and some consonants.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Quite was right, because it's just too easy for you to play here and block everything. And EST is just so much better. But, yeah, the first time I traded, I had UUWB, and then, yeah, I kept EIST with this and then drew EII, so I kind of had to dump again.
It seems. No, I don't know.
What were you going to say here?
Oh, I don't know. It's clearly important for you to score
Well,
a
yeah, yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So, but both of those do the same.
Right, I mean, Quite scores a little more, but the give back is also worse. And I mean, I definitely bingo a lot more with EST in that pool than AS. I wondered after links, maybe I should have played Pixie, PYXIE, keeping NST given the pool, setting up the S more aggressively. But it's still fairly easy for you to block with an overlap or something. But it might have been better at that point.
I didn't like a lot of my plays, but I think
Yeah.
that's just because there were, like I said, I had a number of consonant heavy ones. They all just felt so weird because how tight the board was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still felt in it because this was unblockable, basically. I mean, although there's possibly could be a T play here.
Every single turn I had a T and I was
Yeah.
basically thinking, is it worth it to do something
Right,
here? And
right.
I kept saying, no.
Yeah, no, I was aware that could happen because when I traded, I could have played worst here, WURST, which still would have kept BIU, but I mean, I'm down a lot. I didn't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Um, yeah.
This was maybe the one I was least
Yeah, what did you have there?
happy about, that BLT.
Oh God.
I think at that point I could have done
Huh.
bits or twits.
Right. Yeah. So I guess if I had played Pixie, well, you probably would have just played Twilight and left it open then. bit. Oh, here I see what you mean. Bits. Yes, so you're blocking the end. You're giving me a line for 7s.
I might have missed Twilight, but I think I would have played Twibill.
Oh, that's probably better anyway. Actually.
That's what I was looking at with that rack.
Yeah, it's probably better than Twilight anyway. Yeah,
Just one-
keeping 2 T's over.
I was wondering about a little possibility.
Yeah,
there.
I was looking at that, but I had to save the S at all
Yeah.
costs. Because I mean, I could have played X9s here, but there's no way I'm doing that. I have to keep the S at that point.
Because you were just on the cusp of within bingo range.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I figured if I bingo here, catch you with a bad rack, and get a good draw, I still have a chance. There was enough time too.
Unfortunately, the
just-
polar opposite. happened.
Yeah. No, looking at that pool, I was like, all right, if maybe I'll draw some of the good bingo. I definitely was not expecting you to bingo, let alone triple with that pool. But I mean, I don't think it's possible. I'm supposed to not bingo there for timing and try to.
Expect the unexpected. That is the conclusion of this game after retorts. Just a cold shower. Triple of Terraria. That is Scrabble for you folks. And Nigel Peltier taking down the leader and his opponent last year in the finals of the Scrabble Players Championship. We have a great matchup for you guys coming just in a couple minutes. We'll probably just talk through if the players are going to square tiles soon. We have Joe Edley and Joey Malik. They're both antsy, ready to play, ready to hit the board. Matt, do you want to have a quick break before that?
Yeah, we're going to need just a quick little break to get reset, but Joey Malik is your new tournament leader. Joey and Mack were both 9-2 going into that round. Mack dealt a loss, while Joey winning means Joey Malik is in sole possession of first place, 1 game ahead of the field. It's going to be him against 3-time North American champ Joe Edley in just a few minutes. Should be a very short break, y'all.
Okay, see you in just a bit.